Well, good morning. Oh, I'm excited. Having, and excuse any wind noise, the wind is coming at a slightly strange angle. Oh, and I sat on a very wet thing. Oh, that's not good, is it? Having the weekend before last gone out in the midday, I'm feeling brave. So I've come out to a place called Walcott. And I came here, many, many years ago. And I don't think I did any photography. Because I'm thinking that the tide wasn't right, or the light wasn't right, something like that. Anyway, I've hauled my backside down here again. I have another location to go to tomorrow. Walcott is on the east coast in Norfolk. We're not getting a sunrise, that I can tell you. We've got thick, goopy cloud. And I'm spoilt for choice with groins. It's like, way, this is groin heaven. The ones I've started shooting are the ones you can see behind me. And we've got a lovely line, and there's a slight curve. We've got a line of about 10 uprights. Oh, I must remember to keep this mic in the same position that my mouth is. Then we have a curved set, and through the middle of the curved set, or on either side of the curved set, are some uprights, some bigger uprights. We're on an incoming tide. I really wasn't sure about this location because I don't know what the tide heights relate to in terms of how far up the beach they come. Looking at the marks on the sand, at some point, possibly the last high tide, the water came up to behind you, which is fab. And if the weather keeps up like this, I'll have no problem staying and shooting here for, half a day. Until my tummy says it's breakfast time. I put the 11 to 16 on because I wanted lots of negative space. I have lined up, and I've had to move the camera because, as you can see, the tide is incoming, and the tide is high at, I want to say 8 o'clock. It is currently about 6:15. The only downside, and I'm going to try the polarizer on, is the sea is such a dark colour in comparison with the sky. I'm not quite sure where the sun should be coming in. I think it's over there, but it might be over there. This is the thing I was waiting to get and see if we've got any water on. It's going to be really difficult to compose, because I've got this upright in the way. But putting the 11 to 16 on, I might just be able to get that, because that points out into the ocean. There's no distractions, and it's very minimal. I might have to go down quite low. I was telling you about the settings, wasn't I? 11 to 16. I was in at 16 mil. I could probably have got away with this 17 to 55, but there you go. Got a 0.9 grad on, and that's it. ISO 100, and I think I've got about 5 seconds, hold on. Let me go have a look. I've just hidden the camera over, excuse me a sec. Yep, we're on 8 seconds. And 8 seconds was giving me, amazingly, some nice swirly misty action instead of it being completely smooth. You know something? You're gonna get me off this 10 stop if it's the last thing you do. There are groins of all shapes and sizes, no matter which way you look. There's uprights, there's some marker poles down the other way. Oh, I'm right excited. So anyway, with that, I'm going to grab the polarizer on, see if I can just minimise the difference between the water and the sky. Because I've got no direct sunlight and no blue sky. It won't have any weird effect on the clouds or on the sky. That's my theory anyway. But we'll try it and see. I'm going to stop waffling and crack on with taking some photos, because that is what I'm here for after all. Whee! Before I move on from this little location, this here, let me see if I can fix focus just a sec. There we go. Right. I've taken all the shots that I want from here. This is the groin I was working on, and we've just got this beautiful horizontal wooden sleeper, and a upright at the end of it. And I've shot from this side. I sort of wandered around, way, and it just works better, I feel, from this side. Although some people will say this is blocking the image because it's an upright as opposed to a horizontal, it flows better. On that side, with this on the right side of the image, I just feel that it doesn't sit as comfortably. I'm hoping that makes sense. To me, it definitely works better over there. So I did do a shot from this side. Wasn't happy with it. So yes, it's always worth trying different compositions of the same subject just to see what works and what doesn't. It might not follow the rules. Other people might say, no, you didn't do that right. But if it works for you, that's the important bit. That was my useful tip for the day. Oh my God, the tide is a-coming. Now, I apologise for any wind noise. The wind is head on. I'm having to keep cleaning my filters. I've swapped out the reverse grad and just put a 0.6 in. It's giving me a very dark, moody sky. I've upped it to f22 and I'm at a second. I'm trying to avoid putting the 6 stop on because I really don't want to do that. I don't like that one. I'm still on the 11 to 17. I am at about 13.25 mil. How's that for preciseness? And I have got it down to a 1 second timer. And I'm just trying to time this right. There's various ways, excuse me, I'm just trying to shield the mic a bit. There are various ways you can shoot these. We've got a set of 5 stanchions, upright stanchions. And that should be nice. 4 are central. Oh yes, like that. 4 are in an oblong. The 5th one at the bottom is being a real monkey because it's off centre. And then on the right hand side, oh yes, like that. On the right hand side, I've got a very short stumpy one. So I've got a row of 3, 2 and 1. It's 6. Odd numbers work better than evens. Can't do anything about that. I'm shooting wide to increase the amount of negative space. And by George, I think that's working. I've got a nice bright foreground and quite a brooding sky. No, that didn't work. And I'm shooting fairly low down. I have a tendency to automatically shoot up here, so I'm pushing myself to shoot lower. I say a 1 second timer, and I'm trying to catch it, as the waves start going back. And I'm only shooting at a second. So it's going to start going back about now. Yes, lots of lovely dragging lines, lots of negative space, and a dark brooding sky. I could probably, to be fair, no, I couldn't. I thought I could get away without putting the 6 stop on, but it just doesn't work. Oh, that would have worked if you could have seen the posts. The tide is definitely coming in. You may have noticed I just did a little still, and oh, this could happen. There's a nice zigzag with the most bizarre railings I've ever seen in my life. If the tide got up there, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, don't mind that. There's quite a steep ledge, so the sea's having to work hard to get up and over, but it's getting there. And with the wind coming in from the sea, that's helping to push the tide up. I zoomed out a little bit. Let's just tweak that up a little bit. That's better. But yes, hours of endless fun doing this. And I had intended to shoot from different angles. In fact, I'm going to. Hold on. I've done a gazillion from there. I know it's kind of old hat shooting with groins coming in. And what I'm conscious of is getting separation between the uprights. Zoom that into 16mm. So it'll filter down there, get me a nice deep moody sky. That could be good. Yep, got some nice curly-whirly waves. I say I'm sorry about the wind noise, not a lot I can do about it. But I find the phone really helpful, wandering around to help me decide which composition I want to shoot, which ones work. And these are all getting shot landscape. I'm having to balance the shutter speeds because I want the dragging action. I don't want too much action out here. This, at the moment, with how I'm feeling, this scene doesn't work completely smoothed out. There's got to be a bit of motion in it. Yeah. The waves are coming up higher on this side of the beach than on that side. In fact, I think they're coming in too high altogether. And down at a third of a second is really not working for me. Let's keep it at a second. A second is, generally speaking, I find, the sweet spot for doing short, long exposures. I'm going to try it from over there as well. Oh, my lordy, lordy. That should be good. I saw a nice line going in that way, yes. I might not like these when I get them on the screen at home, who knows, but I'm quite happy for the time being. Right, I'm going to mosey on over there and try from that angle. My favourite is still the heads on. The tide is coming in nicely, a lot higher than I expected it to be. But I've left the zigzags because it was just getting a lot of foam that wasn't moving, which was spoiling the image. But we've still got a good 30 minutes before high tide, and I've still got time to whiz back down there. I've set my composition up, I know where to stand, I know what I want. If it looks like the tide is going to get that high up, to move all the foamy stuff around, you can see the foam coming in down here. Then I'll whiz back down. Morning. But I thought I'd take a wander down here, and I've come across these groins. There's a lump of wood that's just getting in the way. It wasn't there 2 minutes ago, it was over here. It was getting swept round. Let me just move the camera a second. My first thought, we've got 5 uprights. And I wanted to get this small one in, that sort of anchors the image bottom left, and I needed to get separation between the other 4. This one was causing me a problem. It's too high for me to get in shot without getting this concrete walkway in. So I've gone portrait orientation, and I'm right, there is the smallest bit of this upright here getting in the image. Or getting in the frame. I've put the 6 stop on. I haven't been able to avoid it. Although we haven't got any sunlight, the ambient light's increasing. So I put the 6 stop on, the polarizer's still on, it's having a small effect. And I've still got the 0.6 grad in. There's just enough separation between all the markers that I'm not unhappy with it. where you are, I've realised I can actually do a landscape orientation image. Just keep an eye on the zigzags down there. I don't think it's going to come in quite high enough. I'm shooting at f11 and I've got 15 seconds, and I'm not disheartened with that. I'm just going to up that to that because I think that's a little bit too bright. I want to go out and rescue that bit of driftwood, but I can't, because this is actually deeper than it looks, and there's quite a strong current. And I've only got one pair of trousers with me and I don't fancy getting wet. I am going to come round and shoot landscape orientation. I can have the smaller post, bottom right corner, and then separation between the others. And that should work as well. I'm still shooting quite low, which is odd for me. Turn the camera on, that helps if you want to see what you're shooting. Swizzle your filters right, and I had to clean my filter. The polarizer was just getting gooped. The sky, the horizon isn't quite on the halfway marker, on the halfway line, in the middle of the image even. And I think 20 seconds is fine. Right, just a case of press the shutter and see what happens. So, thank you for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed this little look-see around Walcott. That's Walcott and that's Bacton, and they're both rather cute. I say these are, I need to adjust my processing to keep them slightly moody. I do have a tendency to try and lighten stuff in post. No idea why. But I like the moodiness that I'm getting from the sky. And I keep just tweaking the filter. Yeah. Yes, so where was I? Digressing as normal. Thank you for coming along. Have a fabulous couple of weeks. See you soon. Toodaloo.